You wake up and reach for your phone. Before your feet even touch the ground, you're already planning, solving, bracing. What needs fixing? What could go wrong today? What must I control to keep everything from falling apart? We do this unconsciously, because somewhere along the line we were taught a lie, that if we just try hard enough, think fast enough, and prepare thoroughly enough, we can stop the chaos of life. But has it ever really worked? We're told control is power. But in truth, control is a cage. It shrinks us. It exhausts us. It turns our lives into constant negotiations with the unknown, like trying to hold back the tide with your bare hands. You might feel safe behind your routines, your 5-year plans, your guarded heart. But is safety worth the cost of freedom? Think about it. Every moment you're consumed by control, you're not actually living. You're surviving. You're trading wonder for worry, spontaneity for strategy, peace for the illusion of protection, and, worst of all, control doesn't actually stop the pain. It just delays it until it shows up even heavier. So why do we cling? Because we're afraid. Afraid to trust. Afraid to let go. Afraid that if we don't drive the ship, it will crash. But maybe, just maybe, the ship knows where it's going. And maybe, the only thing stopping you from reaching it is your grip on the wheel. It always starts the same way. The call you didn't expect. The door that quietly shuts. The ground beneath you, gone. Suddenly, everything you built feels like it's crumbling. The plan you clung to, useless. The control you worked so hard to keep, gone in seconds. And now, you're here. In the silence that follows collapse. This is the moment most people dread. The space where certainty dies and nothing rushes in to replace it. We call it failure. We call it bad luck. We call it rock bottom. But what if it's something else entirely? What if this is your awakening? When everything falls apart, life is not punishing you. It's pulling you back to something real. To the version of you that exists beneath the plans, the masks, the fears. To the quiet truth that was always there, waiting. But truth doesn't shout. It doesn't demand. It waits for silence. It waits for stillness. It waits for the moment when you're finally ready to listen. And here's the secret. That painful moment you're resisting, that chaos you're trying to outrun, it's the doorway, not the end. Because in every collapse there is creation. In every loss, a hidden beginning. When the known is stripped away, the true can finally emerge. So don't rush to rebuild. Don't scramble for the next plan. Sit in the ashes for a moment and you might just feel freedom. Have you ever watched a storm roll in? It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't follow a schedule. It simply comes. And in its wild, unpredictable dance, something incredible happens. The air clears. The soil softens. New life begins. Chaos, it turns out, is not the enemy. It's the beginning of order. We've been conditioned to fear what we can't predict, to label uncertainty as danger, to believe that life, unless controlled, will spin into destruction. But nature tells a different story. The ocean doesn't need a map to find the shore. The seed doesn't need instructions to become a tree. The stars move in silence without asking to be understood. There is a wisdom underneath everything, a rhythm that doesn't need your control, only your trust. What if your chaos is part of that rhythm? What if the unanswered questions, the wrong turns, the moments of complete unraveling are not signs of failure, but guidance? Not a collapse, but a correction. You see, control is a language of fear, but surrender is the language of life. When you stop needing every detail to make sense, you begin to feel something deeper, a current beneath the noise, a path that reveals itself only as you walk it. And here's the paradox. When you finally release control, Life begins to meet you with precision. The right people arrive. The right doors open. The right timing unfolds. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped forcing it. So trust the storm. Let it tear away what no longer serves. Because what's left behind is always what was meant to stay. Letting go isn't weakness. It's not giving up. It's choosing peace over panic, trust over tension, freedom over fear. But we don't let go easily. We hold on to people who've already walked away, to dreams that no longer fit, to identities shaped by survival, not truth. Why? Because control gives us the illusion of safety. If I can hold it, I won't lose it. If I can predict it, I won't be hurt. But life isn't meant to be gripped like a lifeline. It's meant to be lived, open-handed. And when you finally release that desperate need to force outcomes, something unexpected happens. You feel lighter. You notice the breeze again. You hear your own voice beneath the noise. You begin to live from your center, not your fear. Letting go isn't about erasing effort. It's about releasing attachment, doing your part, and then stepping back, knowing you've done enough. The flower doesn't bloom by willpower. The sunrise doesn't wait for applause. They simply become. You, too, are allowed to become. Not by controlling everything, but by trusting what arises when you stop fighting. So breathe. Surrender the weight. Allow space for the unexpected. Allow space for life. Because everything you're chasing, the clarity, the love, the purpose, it's not waiting at the end of a perfectly executed plan. It's waiting in the quiet. When you finally loosen your grip, and maybe that's the greatest power of all, to walk into the unknown, not with fear, but with faith in what you can't control. Call to action, one line. Let go, not to escape life, but to finally feel it.